I'm not sure you're ready for this. If you are an analogy person, you're going to love this. If you're not, I am so sorry. And even if you are, you're either going to say, wow, that makes complete sense, or this dude is absolutely nuts. We already know that, but even more than you originally thought. So I'm going to explain how the number one cause of low back pain from a weakness standpoint, this lady right here, queen of all glutes, gluteus medius. All right, stop me if you've heard this one before about the Jester and the glute med queen. So we're going to make an analogy that low back pain is caused by weakness of the queen of the glutes, glute med. Here's the situation. Every time you land, that force has to go up the chain towards the body. We're going to say the force is sushi. For whatever reason, she loves sushi. She used to be the queen of sushi. Now she's just the queen of the glutes. She's a feisty woman, let me tell you. So then we're going to make the analogy that as that food goes towards the castle, the only way, there's only one entrance into the castle, it's through that front door. That front door is going to represent your center of mass. That's where the force goes. It always goes towards your center of mass, towards your sacrum. So here's the situation. She's hangry. She is not happy. Her and the Jester, they don't get along. The Jester is like the low back, the spine. They used to date back in the day. It got super uncomfortable, awkward. They hate each other now. So they don't like being in close contact. But here's the situation. This is the axis of rotation of the hip, or the dinner table. That represents where the queen stands. This is where she eats. This is where the food's at. The greater the distance from that dinner table, the axis of rotation of that hip, the distance from that front door or the center of mass to the dinner table, the longer she has to wait, the more upset she is. She's belligerent. She is hangry as all get out. So what's going to happen is the Jester is going to bend over sideways to accommodate for her. And again, they don't get along. They're not happy. He does not like conforming to her needs. So what's going to happen is the spine is going to bend. We're going to shift our center of mass, our weight closer to the axis of rotation, the dinner table, at the expense of side bending. So it's going to make the demand of the hip joint, the glute med muscle, less, but is more stress on the spine. This is a prime example of silent culprit, noisy victim. Silent culprit, not so silent, noisy victim in low back pain. So if you remember back to a couple posts where we're talking about the anatomy, the facet joints, which connects each vertebrae to each other, they're very sensitive to extension. When we extend backwards, they compress. Well, if we add on top of that side bending plus that force attenuation that happens when we lean like that, you can imagine how that can equate to a lot of stress on the facet joints. They're not equipped for that. That's not what they're meant for. Next post, we're going to talk about some correctives for how to strengthen. And again, the strengthening should mimic how we use that muscle with running. Spoiler alert, clams all day are not necessarily going to feed the queen, if you know what I'm saying. So if this made sense, if you loved it, if you hated it, please comment down below. Next post, we're going to go over correctives.